Hello and welcome to my YouTube. So happy you're here. I know you're expecting an announcement and that'll come here in a second, but I guess this is kind of like a two-part announcement because the first one is that obviously I'm on YouTube now. I've been wanting to get into long-form content for a while, and I think right now is a really good time for me to do that. The reason I want to do long-form content in YouTube is because I want to get more personable with my audience. It's been kind of hard for me to do that on my short-form content on my Instagram and my TikTok, so YouTube will allow me to talk more and let you guys know a little bit more about myself, which you'll see in this video here. I get into some detail about my history and my career in college, and then what I do now in my life besides creating content, which isn't my job. So yeah, I'm just kind of excited to let you guys see that part of my life. I have some travel booked this summer too, so I'm going to be looking to make some long-form content videos of those trips. So yeah, so that's it for the first announcement. So for the second announcement and the real announcement, I am going to be running the New York City Marathon this fall on November 2nd. I am extremely thankful and humbled and honored to be able to run in this race. This is actually going to be my first full marathon. So I've only ran in a half marathon so far. So for my very first marathon to be the New York City Marathon is just crazy and full circle for me, which I'll get to in a second. But super thankful. And so while it's awesome that I'm able to run in this, the only reason I am able to run and the reason it's such big news is because I'm actually going to be joining the Tunnel to Towers Foundation team, and I'm going to be fundraising for them to get my entry into this race. So this is going to be a long journey all the way up until the race, and I'm super excited for it, to be running with just such a great team, and when I worked really hard to do it, and I know that the money that we raise is going to be going towards a great cause. So kind of how I'm going to lay this out is I'm going to explain what the Tunnel to Towers Foundation is, and then talk about my history with them and kind of why this means so much for me. And then at the end I'll kind of go into the fundraising specifics on how I plan on doing that, and give you guys the details on that. So the Tunnel to Towers Foundation since 9/11 has been building mortgage-free homes for Gold Star families as well as fallen first responder families. They also build smart homes for the families of veterans and first responders that have sustained catastrophic injuries in their line of service. And then additionally, they are committed to ending veteran homelessness. And again, once I get into my story in here in a second, it's just awesome that I'm able to fundraise for a foundation that really is committed to a cause that impacts my life so much. So I guess that's a good segue into my personal life. So again, that's why I want to get into this long form content, because I'm really excited to share with you guys some more of my personal story. If you've seen in my bio on my Instagram or my TikTok, I said that I attended West Point. If you're not familiar with what West Point is, it's a military academy right outside of New York City, actually like an hour outside of New York. So kind of my history, and that brings me up to this point right now. So I went to West Point. I went to their prep school for 1 year, and then I went to West Point for 4 years, and I graduated in 2021. When you finish West Point, you have a commitment in the Army for 5 years, which I'm currently in right now. So my 5th year is going to be at the end of next May, and then I'll kind of decide if I'm going to stay in or if I'm going to transition out. But I'm nearing the point where I've got to figure that out. So it's pretty exciting. But yeah, while I was at West Point, I actually had the ability to run in the Tunnel to Towers 5K in New York City 2 times. So the first time that I did it was during my prep school year. We all got bussed down. I think it's in the last weekend of September, but it's a 5K that is around the time of 9/11. So we all got bussed down and we did this 5K. It was probably one of the most remarkable, chilling experiences I had during that year, just because it was kind of my entry into the military, because I don't have any family in the military. I'm the first one. So when the race started, we basically were all in our PT uniform, our fitness uniform, and then we basically just got in a big line and started running. But the coolest part was when we were in the tunnel underwater going into New York City, and everyone was chanting USA, USA, USA. It was super cool. And again, it was my entry kind of into this camaraderie and this new kind of life for myself, because I hadn't really, again, had any history with the military. So it was cool to be part of something bigger than myself. And then after that race, we went and we bussed straight back to our prep school. The prep school is connected basically to the college campus. Fast forward a year later, then I was a freshman at West Point, which is called a plebe, and we had the ability to do the race again, which I did. That weekend, you're actually afforded the opportunity to be able to like stay in New York City and do whatever you want the night before, which is a big deal because as freshmen at West Point, you only can leave campus or do overnight stays off campus 2 times or something. So that was like a free non-chargeable one. So that was really big for the freshmen. So did that, but the race was still just as impactful. When you finish the race, there's so much going on. What we kind of did was you gathered with your company. Someone was talking about 9/11 and the importance of it and how we are playing a role in the military now moving forward once we ended up commissioning as officers and going into the Army. Since most of us didn't really have memories of 9/11 ourselves, it's kind of important for us to be reminded of the impact that it has had on our country. And it's a big reason why a bunch of people that we will end up serving with, it's a reason why they joined the Army and started serving, which fast forward now, 8 years later, I work with so many people who enlisted because of 9/11. So yeah, that's my history with Tunnel to Towers. So now bring it to where we're at right now, when I found out that to get into the New York City Marathon, you can fundraise. Applying to join the Tunnel to Towers Foundation team was honestly a no-brainer for me. And then when they reached out to me and said that they were considering having me join the team, it was so exciting. And then when I finally got the news that I was able to fundraise for them, I was ecstatic. So super, super excited to be able to do that. And yeah, so the fundraising specifics. So by, I think it's a month or a couple weeks before the race, I have to have $5,000 raised for the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. My plan to do this is with your guys' help. So in the description, the link in my bio, everywhere, I'm gonna have the link to my fundraising account, and you can donate straight there. Anything that you guys could donate would be significantly helpful. I would really, really appreciate anything that you would be willing to give. But also, as you guys know, I'm also sponsored by Gymshark and I have a commission code. All of the money that I earn off of that code also is going to go towards the fundraiser. So that also includes, if you've already used my code, that money is also going to go towards the fundraiser. So essentially everything that I've earned from my commission code for my Gymshark is going to go towards fundraising for this event. So continue to use the code, it's going to go to a good place. And then if you could donate in the link in my bio on my fundraising platform, that would be awesome too. Again, I'm super excited to fundraise, and that's one of the reasons I'm so happy to be doing this race for something that's bigger than myself, because it makes the race feel that much more important. I remember when I was racing in my first race, which was the half marathon in Houston, if you guys remember my train up for that. And if you yourself have ran a race before, you understand when you get to that start line, it's a super emotional feeling because of all the training that you've put in, and especially when you kind of have done it alone like I have. It really just feels so emotional to be up there and understand that you're about to go and perform on something that you've trained for months on. It's all come down to this moment, right? And then when you have people cheering you on, it makes it even crazier because you're running for 13 or 26 miles and you have people cheering for you the whole time. But to know that and to think about the moment when I run the race and knowing that I put in so much effort physically, but also I worked so hard to raise money for a foundation that I care about and that impacts me myself, it's it can make me emotional even thinking about right now. So I'm just super excited to be able to get this opportunity, and I cannot wait for November 2nd to come. So that kind of wraps up the announcement. I hope that was a big enough announcement. I kind of made it a big deal, even though maybe it wasn't that big of a deal for you guys, but it's a big deal for me. So, and a big step in my journey. I'm gonna do a video at the end of the year explaining my goals and what I achieved, but running New York City Marathon was a goal for the year of 2025 for me. So again, being able to run it is it's super awesome. And I'm super thankful for it. So this is my first video. There's gonna be a bunch more videos to come. They're going to be a little slower just because I think my next ones are going to be over the traveling that I'm going to have planned this summer. I have at the end of May and then at the beginning of June, so probably won't be a while for my next one, but I'm really excited to start this long form content, give you guys a little bit more personable side of me. I feel like I'm a pretty cool guy, and yeah, it's pretty exciting. So thanks for watching, guys. Fundraiser in my link and in the description. Let's go. New York City, November 2nd. Peace.